Welcome into the Thursday episode of the David Hookstead Show, last one of the week before we cruise into Friday, and what I hope for everyone is a great weekend. We got a few topics we're going to run through, a lot of football stuff going on today. Obviously, as you all know, the start of the NFL draft is tonight. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But first, Raiders owner Mark Davis. Mark Davis thinks that Colin Kaepernick deserves to return to the NFL. And I'm going to read you his exact quote here because I want to make sure we're all on the same page. This is a word-for-word quote from Mark Davis when discussing Colin Kaepernick, who, of course, disgracefully refused to stand for the national anthem and said terrible things about America. I believe in Colin Kaepernick. He deserves every chance in the world to become a quarterback in the National Football League. I still stand by. If our coaches and general manager wanted to bring him in or want him to be the quarterback on this team, I would welcome him with open arms. This is complete nonsense. This is nothing more than pontificating into the wind. It's absolute gibberish. It means nothing. It means nothing. Either sign him or don't sign him. But this whole idea that Colin Kaepernick deserves, first off, you don't deserve anything. No one does. No one deserves a shot to play in the NFL. It is a privilege to play in the NFL like it's a privilege to have most jobs. No one deserves to just go run off and join SEAL Team 6. You don't just deserve, because you want to be on Delta Force, that they have to give you the opportunity to be a member of Delta Force. You're either good enough to make it or you're not. You're either good enough to be an astronaut or you're not. Colin Kaepernick played in the NFL for a while. He lost his starting job. Then the whole anthem fiasco started. But people like to have revisionist history when it comes to Colin Kaepernick. Everyone pretends like he was some superstar by the time his career came to an end, and then he was unfairly blackballed by the NFL. That's not true whatsoever. Colin Kaepernick had fallen off a cliff when it comes to his play, and then on top of that, he did some absolutely disgusting and horrific things when it came to his conduct and his viewpoints of America. Let's run through those in case anyone forgot. As cops were at war in America, getting gunned down, shot, and murdered, Kaepernick decided to wear socks depicting police officers as pigs. As cops in America were at war with criminals, again, getting shot, gunned down, and murder, he decided to claim that police officers could more or less murder people and get paid vacation. He compared them to slave catchers. Cops are literally fighting for their lives in the streets of this country, trying to do the best job they can. And I'm not saying all cops are perfect. No profession has a 100% perfection rate when it comes to the employees. But cops in this country, to this day, are still under attack by criminals who think they can do whatever they want. And in large part, Colin Kaepernick is one of the reasons why we don't treat criminals the way we should, because he goes out there and he pretends like cops are massacring people, that there's this epidemic of cops shooting unarmed black people, which is not backed up by reality, stats, or anything else. And the media played into this because they wanted to hype him up. They wanted to make him out to be some savior. And in reality, if you look at the numbers, if you look at the things Colin Kaepernick said, there is no evidence to back up any of it. His play on the field or his comments off the field. Let's not forget, this is the guy that went down to Miami wearing a pro-Fidel Castro shirt and was stupid enough to claim that the Cubans spend more on education compared to prisons than the United States does. Yeah, guess what? If they don't like you in Cuba, they line you up against the wall and shoot you. Bullets are not expensive. Incarcerating someone and feeding them 3 times a day, taking care of their health care, that takes money. So if you don't understand why the Cubans spend less money on people in prison than we do, you're really, really, really stupid. Yeah, it's almost difficult for me to even convey this message because I don't know how a full-grown adult who grew up and I assume attended history classes, watched the news, maybe read stuff online about, again, history, the relationship with Cuba, communism, any of that stuff, how they could possibly think that the Cubans spending less money on incarcerating people means that they're somehow nicer to criminals. My man, they just line them up against the wall and shoot them. Like, what are you talking about? It is mind-boggling to me. And now here it is, 2022. He's been out of the NFL for almost 6 years. We're still sitting here talking about how Colin Kaepernick should get back in the NFL. Colin Kaepernick doesn't belong anywhere near an NFL field. Colin Kaepernick doesn't belong anywhere near an NFL team. Hell, I don't even know if he deserves to go to an NFL game. It is mind-boggling to me that we have allowed ourselves to get to this point where we've washed away reality, we've washed away history, and we've allowed the media to repaint Colin Kaepernick as this heroic figure who has all these enlightening thoughts. No, he doesn't. Every time Colin Kaepernick opens his mouth, garbage dribbles out of it. It's insanity to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. This guy has never once said anything that I've ever considered profound. He's essentially a soundboard for anti-Americanism. That's all he is. Why the fuck should this guy be coming back in the NFL? Seriously. Can anyone explain that to me? Anyone at all? Anyone want to take a stab in the dark for why Colin Kaepernick, a guy who has disparaged police officers, disparaged the great flag of this country, seemingly sided with communist dictators, deserves any shot at playing in the NFL? And let's not forget, if he was good enough, he'd be out there. Matthew Stafford, I'm a Lions guy. Matthew Stafford kneeled for the national anthem. He just led the Rams to a Super Bowl. So don't give me this line of garbage, how, it's only because of the anthem that he's not in the NFL. You really think if Aaron Rodgers took a knee for the anthem, that the Packers wouldn't put him out on the field? Give me a break. It's like the people I'm arguing with here have never even looked at the evidence. They're talking off pure emotion. They're talking off the way they feel, the way they want the world to be, not the way the world is. The world doesn't back up any of their nonsense. It backs up everything I'm saying because I got the receipts, I got the facts, and get Colin Kaepernick the hell away from the NFL. I'm sick and tired of it. Shame on Mark Davis for suggesting he should return. Do it or don't. Piss or get off the pot. And if you want to bring him back, deal with the fallout. But don't sit there and talk about how he deserves to come back and do nothing. At least put your money where your mouth is and we'll tear you up too. So that's my thoughts on Colin Kaepernick. Those have been my thoughts on Colin Kaepernick since 2016. They haven't changed. In fact, they've only gotten worse with time. All right, next, the NFL Draft starts Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. You can watch on ABC, ESPN, NFL Network. I am super fired up, super excited. And the neat thing about this year's draft is we really don't know who's going to go first overall. Could be Thibodeau from Oregon. Could be Hutchinson from Michigan. Could be, there's probably 3 or 4 options at number 1. Feels like the first time in a long time we truly have no idea who's going to go number 1, which makes it all the more fun, makes it that much more interesting. But here's what I'll say. The draft represents everything we love about sports. You're going to have 32 guys taken off the board in the first round. These guys have been working their ass off for their whole lives to get here. Tonight, 32 of them will get multi-million-dollar deals. Remember, if you're a first-round pick, you get deals. If you're the first overall pick, I think you get about $36 million guaranteed. If you're the last pick of the first round, I think it's closer to maybe $8, maybe $9 million guaranteed. But either way, you're getting a multi-million-dollar deal. You're getting a lot of cash. You're getting a lot of money. So it's cool to watch this. I really hope we see some surprising stuff. I'll be curious to see how the quarterback picks all shake out. I really hope the Lions make a run at Matt Corral. Would love to see him at 32nd overall. Would love to see him if they can get him in the second round. Don't take him second overall. Don't think he's worth that. But right now, I'd love to see Matt Corral on the Lions. I think they are going to draft him. I hope they draft him. But man, I am fired up for the draft. I can't wait to see what we get. Remember, 8 o'clock Eastern, that's when it starts. And I'll have plenty of coverage you can check out, so it should be a fun time. Finally, Ozark. Ozark returns tomorrow, Friday, on Netflix. The final episodes of Ozark, part 2 of season 4. This is the end of the road with Marty Bird and his family. I can't tell you, it's been a long time coming. It's a great show. I mean, it's about laundering money. It's about family. It's really a family drama told through the lens of money launderers. But more than anything, it's been awesome. It's been one of Netflix's greatest shows that they've ever made. It's been one of the best shows on TV, period, for a long time. So I can't wait to see how it ends. I think you're going to see multiple main characters die. We saw Wyatt and Darlene die at the end of part 1, season 4. Who makes it out alive? I think you're going to see Ruth probably does not make it out alive. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Marty's the only one who survives and then he kind of has to live with the situation he was in. Or if maybe the daughter's the only one that survives. I think you're going to see a lot of death and heartbreak. But anyways, Ozark returns Friday. Check it out. I will have plenty to recap over the weekend. I'm going to cruise through those episodes. I'm going to hammer them out. Anyways, that's all we have for the Thursday episode of The David Hookstead Show. I will see you all back here next Monday, this upcoming Monday, for a new one.